Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. Today I'm doing an intuitive painting, and it was actually inspired by a painting drawing that my friend did for me. So I'm using a similar color palette and I'm just getting in there and covering the whole thing in my sort of base color. Don't forget the edges. And okay, now you'll see that I have everything covered. I'm now going in with some highlights. And I know it looks a little sloppy right now, just trust the process. So again, I'm just focusing on getting some highlighted areas. And I'm using very muted tones because I want this again to be background, to be very atmospheric. So I'm, going background to foreground here and just building that up. So now I come in with some darker tones and creating more contrast in areas of shadows. And you'll see I don't like this area down in the bottom corner, so I'm going to get rid of it, wipe it off, and change it. Now I'm going to start adding some more contrast, and I'm using this highlighted, very light yellow color and using, brighter, more vibrant colors. But you'll see I switch back and forth a lot between working on the foreground and background. So again, I'm adding this more muted blue, just so there's not too much contrast between each layer. And here I just start intuitively making these shapes and lines. And again, I'll knock them down a little bit by just going over them with with some water. Okay, trust the process. I know this red line is scary, but it does change. I don't like the red line, and you'll see I'm starting to think about contrast with color here, and I kind of didn't like that. Okay, here comes the gold to save the day. We're going to get rid of all that red, cover it up with this gold, and make it more bold as well, and really make this sort of line shine. And okay, bye-bye ugly red, gone. Now I come in and I'm just adding some highlighted areas to the gold to really give it some dimension so it's not so flat, and it's looking beautiful. Okay, now here I come with my bold move. I'm going to start making this big line to really be the center of attention, what's going to be in the foreground. So I'm just going to be building and building this line, and this line is actually going to change a lot throughout this painting. It sort of became the thing I loved and hated, as many artists will know. So I'm just sort of marking off where it's going to be. And now again, I'm going back to the background. It's a little hard to tell because I'm using a gray, but I just really wanted more detail and more space. And as I add more and more, you can kind of see more where that gray is coming in. And I think it adds a lot to it actually. Okay, so now I'm just going around that line again with some white, and I don't want anything to look too flat. So what I'm just trying to do here is create a little bit more dimension around that line and give that line a little bit more of a presence. And it's still gonna change a lot, you guys. It's still gonna change a lot. So now I'm gonna zoom in and show you some more details that I'm adding here with these little dots. And again, this is the foreground, so I'm trying to give it a little more detail as it's coming forward. And now I'm contrasting that green with this pink, and I'm going to outline everything in pink, but soon you will see I change my mind again. And here I am the next day. I did not love that green. I decided it needed to be a little more blue. It also wasn't popping as I had wanted it to, so I went over everything. I went over the white line and the pink line and just really cleaned it up. And here is the finished product. I love it. I think it's beautiful. I hope you guys like it too, and enjoy.